Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and well, I've done it again. I have managed to get some of the rarest LEGO minifigures ever to almost complete my Comic-Con LEGO minifigure collection. So what exactly are these and why are they so rare? Well, every year LEGO used to do Comic-Con exclusive minifigures for Marvel and DC, and for certain years, like 2013 for example, they produced even smaller quantities than usual, making certain years rarer than others, and one of those is the focus of today's video. Now, I have been on a quest to gain every single one of the Marvel and DC Comic-Con figures, and with this latest order, I now only have 3 to go. I still need Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, I need Jean Grey Phoenix, which honestly isn't one of the more expensive ones, so I probably should just get that, and I lastly just need the Iron Man from the Comic-Con and Toy Fairs of 2011, which those two, Spider-Man and Iron Man, are probably some of the hardest ones to find, and I certainly am still on the hunt. But today's orders have filled some huge gaps in my collection, and I'm so excited because one of them might be the single most expensive LEGO item I've ever bought. And so, join me as we take a look at the latest fine additions to my collection. Oops, wrong franchise. And now, let's take a look at these Marvel and DC minifigures, some of the rarest LEGO minifigures to ever exist. Okay, so here are some of my latest acquisitions for LEGO Comic-Con minifigures, and oh my goodness, is this an exciting one, because I have been wanting to get at least 2 out of these 3 figures for years now, and honestly, I never actually thought I would be able to own them until now. So if you see the thumbnail, you know what they are. But my 3 latest Comic-Con acquisitions are Spider-Woman from the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con, Green Arrow, also from 2013, and specifically the CW version of the Green Arrow, and lastly, Sheriff Deadpool from the 2018 Comic-Con, featuring Deadpool in a Wild West outfit. Now, I'm always of the stance that minifigures and LEGO in general are meant to be opened and played with, so I don't really care about the packaging. I really just want to have the minifigures played with and then in my collection, so I will happily go ahead and open all of these up, and this is honestly the culmination of years worth of dreaming and wondering if I would ever own these things. And finally I do. So we're going to start off with probably arguably the least rare minifigure out of all of them. This is Sheriff Deadpool. This was the 2018 Comic-Con exclusive, which is really interesting. It is kind of meant to celebrate the Marvel Super Heroes 2 video game, which was a video game focused ironically around Kang. Before Kang even made his way to the MCU, Kang was the main villain of the Marvel Super Heroes 2 video game, and this was representing the different worlds of the multiverse coming together and different random out-of-time versions of the famous characters blending together in a big melting pot of a world for Battle World. And that was a really cool concept for a game. The game itself was pretty fun. Now, this minifigure at this time of recording, the cheapest price in the US is around $1,400 to acquire. I think I paid a little less than that because I got this one a while ago actually, and it just now kind of crossed my mind to showcase it in a video, but as you can see, this is featuring all new and specialized prints. You have a special mustache for Deadpool there, which is really funny how he's using the mustache piece. These minifigures are produced in a different factory than normal minifigures, so the one thing is that the mustache does tend to kind of turn backwards and forwards, but for the most part, it is still a really nice looking figure. Love the usage of the hat element being used here as well. I think it just looks really good on the character, and comic fans will definitely be able to tell me a lot more about the history of this figure. I'm sure a cowboy-themed Deadpool appeared in something at some point. I am personally not familiar with the lore behind this character outside of his appearance in Marvel Super Heroes 2, but it is still really cool. And one thing I want to kind of mention about the packaging that I find really funny is obviously Deadpool's shtick as he breaks the fourth wall, so he calls over and says, "Hey nerd, I'm minted box." Well, not anymore, you're not. And you can see an advertisement for Marvel Super Heroes 2, which looks really good. Now, the next minifigure is one that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a long time, and honestly, I never thought I would ever actually own this, and this is the Green Arrow from San Diego Comic-Con 2013, which had a much more limited run than any of the other Comic-Con minifigures. Now, this specifically is meant to represent the CW show Green Arrow, and while to be honest the quality of the show kinda went downhill as well as all the other Arrowverse shows over time, this minifigure does remind me a lot of my childhood. I literally grew up watching the CW shows. I've seen maybe unfortunately every single one of them. Yes, all of them, even like The Ray, Black Lightning, all of Supergirl, all of... Hey, Legends is pretty good. Legends is okay. But yeah, so I've seen all the CW shows, so it was really cool to see LEGO actually making CW figures. Really wish we could have gotten a CW Flash like was rumored for the third wave of LEGO Dimensions, but it's really cool to get this. Now, I've had a pretty crazy journey of acquiring this figure. Early on, I actually had a user on Instagram reach out and try to sell me this figure for a very good price, given that it was used and played with. I sent over the money. They kind of didn't really send over any photos of the figure. Eventually, they sent me a trading card in the mail and sent the figure. It was a whole ordeal. I asked for a refund. I still haven't gotten it. It's been 2.5 months. I don't think I'm getting my refund. I'm trying to get it through PayPal, so we'll see what happens with that. But so initially, I thought I was getting this, and then I wasn't. Because I don't know, maybe it was a scam, maybe the guy just didn't really know what he was doing. I really don't know what to make of that situation. I've been trying to get my money back over a long and lengthy process. So anyway, I thought that it was a lost cause. I was like, okay, I'm never getting this figure. And then, I'm not sure how much I can spoil, but there may be something coming out on TV pretty soon that highlights the collection, what I'll say about that, and during that time, there was a live deal held on TV where it was filmed, recorded, for me to trade in some items for this particular minifigure. So that is a crazy story that I probably cannot, and I honestly, I don't want to tell it until that particular TV special comes out, because I feel like it's such a cool story of how I actually got this figure. But right now this figure is valued at around $5,000 US. On Bricklink, I think it's a little bit more than that. It's like 5,500 or 6,000. So it's really cool that I was actually able to trade in for this character itself, because it is something I've been wanting for a long time. And I love how you can see the two different expressions of the character there. Even though Stephen Amell didn't really smile that much on the show itself, maybe that was when he was with Felicity or something. Here you can see the much more stern and angry "you have failed this city" look. And what's interesting is that the backing is kind of very similar to what was done for the Man of Steel black suit Superman figure. It is basically identical for 2013. They did the same backings for Marvel and DC, so you can see for the figures for DC it had this blue look right there. And then for Marvel, the next 2013 exclusive is Spider-Woman, and the same exact backing print is used, except this time with a red filter. Now, Spider-Woman is probably one of the rarest LEGO Marvel minifigures ever. This one clocks in at around $8,000 US and climbing. I think the last time I saw it, it was like 9 or 10,000. So this is on par with the rarity of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man minifigure. Maybe not quite as popular, but since LEGO has never done another version of this character, it remains the only time you can actually get Spider-Woman as a minifigure, who recently also appeared in a brief cameo in Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse, so definitely raised the popularity of the character itself. Now, the minifigure has two different expressions. One of them is very angry like that, so I really like that one. It just feels very unique for the character. And then one of them is just a more standard happy one. Also, the printing on it is very nice. You've got some, I don't know, exaggerated curves there for the comic book style of character. I guess, I know, LEGO knows what they're doing with that one, but it's pretty interesting to see a character with this particular style of costume, and this is kind of before LEGO was dual molding legs, even though that I feel like if this figure were to come out nowadays, they probably would dual mold those legs right there. But it's really interesting seeing this figure be so rare and so valuable. Now, I actually got a pretty good deal. I mean, good deals are relative, but I think I paid around $5,000 or $6,000 for this, as opposed to the normal 8 or 10. So I feel like I got a very good deal, but again, it's very relative. I'm sure there are some people watching who are going to say that it's crazy that I spent that much money on a single minifigure, and that is probably true. I don't disagree, but you know, you gotta catch them all. I am trying to collect every single Comic-Con figure, and these 3 figures have brought me one step closer, because as of now, in terms of LEGO superheroes, I am now only missing 3 Comic-Con minifigures. I am missing the Jean Grey minifigure, which I am waiting for next year's 2024 Marvel X-Men sets to come out, and hopefully the value of that figure will go down since we're getting a new one, I believe. I also am missing the ever-elusive Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which is kind of on the same level as this one, but I just haven't found a good deal on it yet, and I'm, at least at this stage, unwilling to pay $10,000+ for a single LEGO minifigure. If anyone's willing to offer me a deal in the comments, please let me know, and I'm happy to do a trade-in as well. If there's stuff you want that you're interested in trading in, happy to work that out, because I got a lot of LEGO stuff. But $10K for one minifigure is a lot for me, at least at this stage of my collecting journey, I guess. Maybe that will change the future. So that's also missing. And then the original Toy Fair Iron Man figure is still missing.
There's one really nice priced one on Bricklink right now, but I don't know if I can really trust the value, especially with all the issues Bricklink had recently, so I'm gonna wait and see if that one gets snapped up by anyone. But otherwise, having only 3 minifigures to go is something I never thought I would ever be saying, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this special, in-depth look at some brand new Comic-Con figures I've just added to my collection.
And with that, we've summed up this look at some of the newest LEGO Comic-Con minifigures I have now added to my collection. What did you think of these figures? Do you think they're worth the price I had to pay? Honestly, probably not, but you know what? Unfortunately, it is the going price, and if I want to have a complete superhero minifigure collection, well, this is a price I have to pay. Well, now I just have 3 to go, 3 down, 3 to go, so I'm sure at some point, maybe even within the next year, I will be putting out a video with a 100% complete Comic-Con minifigure collection, at least for superheroes. I still need to chase down the Ninja Turtles ones and Barb from Stranger Things. That's a whole other story. We'll get to that when we get to it, but for now, 3 superheroes minifigs to go. Wish me luck. They're all Marvel ones, so they're definitely some of the rarest ones. But this has been a major benefit to my collection. I honestly never thought I would be here today. If you asked me if I was going to be collecting the Comic-Con minifigures this time last year, I would have told you I was crazy because I owned none of them. So it's been a pretty crazy year for LEGO collecting. Super happy to have been able to add these to my collection, and here's hoping I'll be able to finish up the collection very soon. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.